What's up, everybody? Welcome back. I am Dave Ex Machina. This is DEM Sports. We're going to be talking all things West Virginia football today. Before we get into the topic I really want to get into that I've done some research on, I almost have to talk about the two big news pieces that have come out. First of all, the Bama game series is canceled. We kind of all saw that coming a mile away. I've already done a full video on it, plus a big portion of another video talking about. I am actually kind of glad that we got out of that series. I'm not a big fan of who we replaced them with. Coastal Carolina, I mean, maybe I'm still just tainted because they had that one year where they went like 11-1 or something. But I started going back and looking. That was like 4 years ago. And since then, they haven't done crap since. They've actually gotten progressively worse. But I've always said if you're going to play a group of 5 team, or I guess I got to get used to saying group of 6 team now, but if you're going to be playing a group of 6 team, play a bad one, a team that you have no chance of losing to because you have everything to lose and nothing to gain by beating them. So, I wish we could have gotten somebody a little easier, maybe. Not that I really think that we're going to lose to Coastal Carolina, but go out and schedule the worst team possible that you can schedule. I mean, whatever. And then we got Southern Miss in 2027. That game, nobody knows anything about Southern. Like, that was kind of one of those just completely out of the blue, like, wow, where did this come from? Like, why are we playing Southern Miss? Is anybody really going to care? Are we going to sell out 60,000 fans at Milan Puskar Stadium to come see Southern Miss? But I kind of have a theory on that I think that we're setting ourselves up for a deep run in 2027 because we don't have a Power 4 team now on our non-conference schedule. So we should easily cruise to a 3-0 non-con. And if you look, our conference schedule sets up really nice that year. And I know you're trying to project 3 seasons out now. Who knows where these teams are going to be? But in 2027, we will be at home against Arizona State, BYU, Iowa State, and UCF. Arizona State, BYU, and Iowa State, those are 3 contenders for the title right there. UCF, who knows? I mean, they act, they talk a big talk, but so far they haven't shown me anything. And then our away games that year are Baylor, Cincinnati, Colorado, Kansas State, and Oklahoma State. So Kansas State's really the only one that scares me on the away schedule for that year. Baylor, Colorado, and Oklahoma State could all be tough. Cincinnati, again, they're kind of a who knows. But so far they haven't shown us that they can really hang with the big boys in the Power Conference yet. So our conference schedule lines up really nice that year. Now we've got a pretty easy non-con schedule. I'm wondering if they're just, they're playing chess. They're looking ahead and going, hey, we could very easily win 10 or 11 games that year and, hopefully slip into the playoffs. That's my theory on it. Like I said, I don't want to get too deep into that because that's not what this video is going to be about. The other thing was the depth chart finally got released, and it looks like Mark Yule is the starting quarterback, but Rodriguez was saying as press conference he's going to run multiple quarterbacks and maybe even as many as 5 quarterbacks. I'm like, what? Like, when does that ever work? And I said something on the Facebook page about it. I was like, this is just a recipe for disaster. Like, nobody's going to... this never works. And a bunch of people were like, oh, well, you obviously don't know anything about the 1993 WVU team. Okay, so it's literally worked one time in the last 30-something years. When has it worked recently? This multiple quarterback stuff, I don't like it. I would really prefer we get away from the multiple quarterbacks. Just pick somebody and go with them. So that's just my thought on that. But what I really wanted to get into today, over the summer, like I do almost every summer, I start fiending for football, and I want to watch some football. So a lot of times I'll go back and I'll just watch like highlight reels, go to YouTube and type in, best, WVU crowd reactions and stuff like that. But I finally was like, you know what? I'm going to watch those old BCS games because I haven't watched them like literally since we like played them. I watched like the highlights of, I've probably watched that Darwin Cook return from the Orange Bowl 100 times, but I really haven't watched the whole games in years, decades even. So I sat down and I rewatched those games, and I started noticing something, especially in the Rodriguez era. The Sugar Bowl against Georgia, and then the Fiesta Bowl against Oklahoma. When I think of Rodriguez, I think of this offensive genius, pioneer, innovative, all this stuff. But offense, offense, offense. We actually had really good defenses under him. And we haven't had that in a while. We've actually had really good balanced teams under him. And that is my key to success going forward is I think that we need a good defense. I've always been like the whole, defense wins championships and stuff. But when I started researching this, it actually really proves my point that you really do win games with defense. So I put together this spreadsheet here and I got all these from sportsreference.com. So don't kill me if they're right or wrong. That's just where I went. I put in total offense, total defense. So I'm not exactly sure how they ranked them, like what metrics they use to figure out who has this best defense, if it's based off of scoring or yards allowed or what. But if you notice, so Rich Rod, his first year was 91st offense, 51st defense. And we went 3-8. Hopefully the first year this year goes a lot better than that. I think it will because of the whole NIL and transfer portal that he didn't have access to 25 years ago. But then look at this. Year 2, 33rd offense, 40 defense, 9-4 with a bowl game loss, Continental Tire Bowl. 2003, 40 and 44, 8-5 with a bowl game loss. 2004, 31-29. See how balanced they are, how close they are? Gator Bowl win, 8-4. 2005, that's the Sugar Bowl year. We had the 31st best offense, the 13th best defense. Our defense was better than our offense that year, and we went 11-1 with that Sugar Bowl win. 2006, we had the 3rd best offense, 49th best defense. Still top 50 defense. We went 11-2, won 11 games again, but still a top 50. 2007, the year that, the infamous year that we should have played for and probably won a national championship, we had the 9th best offense and the 8th best defense. Perfectly balanced, everything. Yeah, no excuses for that. And that's with that awful showing in the last game. But then, of course, we get under Bill Stewart, and this is where we start to lose the balance. Bill Stewart, year 1, 73rd offense, 11 defense, 9 wins. So still 9 wins with the 73rd best offense. That proves my point that defense wins games. 2009, 68th offense, 32 defense, 9-4 again. But we all know that Bill Stewart went 9-4 all 3 years. But yeah, this year, 78th best offense, 4th best defense. So, 9-4 with only having the 68th best offense is the best his offense ever was, and he still was managing to win 9 games every year. Then Holgorsen comes in, totally flips the script. Now we've got this high-powered offense, but our defense has always sucked under him. This first year he was here is the only kind of outlier. We had the 13th best offense and the 63rd best defense. And that was the year that we, won the Orange Bowl, slaughtered Clemson. But yeah, I mean, it was a lot of fun scoring these, 50, 60, 70 points, but it's not sustainable. Year 2, whenever we had the 9th best offense, this is when we joined the Big 12. Remember that 70-63 shootout in Morgantown? I was in the stadium for that. We had the 9th best offense, 117th best defense. Guess what our record was? 7-6 with a bowl game loss. I was actually at that bowl game too. The Pinstripe Bowl, most miserable. One of the most miserable games I've ever been at. It was like 36 degrees and pouring down rain the whole time, and we got slaughtered. But I wanted to see Yankee Stadium, and I hate the Yankees, so I killed 2 birds with 1 stone. I got to see Yankee Stadium, didn't have to see the Yankees play, got to see my Mountaineers play. It was a fun time, but miserable experience. The next year, we were just bad, 81st and 101st, and finished 4-8. But again, a 100 defense, and we only won 4 games. Bill Stewart was winning 9 games with 78th. His offense was only 3 better, but he had the 4th best defense. And then he starts to get back into where we're having 37th offense, 74 defense, 7-6. 36 offense, 44 defense. That was a pretty balanced year. And guess what? We went 8-5. 50 offense, 37 defense. The only year where our defense was better than our offense under Dana. And we went 10-3. Or, I mean, arguably his best year here. I mean, you could say the 2011 Orange Bowl win was his best year here, but that was also while we were still in the Big East. This 2016 season was when we were in the Big 12, and we lost that bowl game. So we were 10-2 in the regular season. whereas we were 9-3 in the regular season in 2011. But it was because he had a half decent defense that year. Then I mean, like, look at this: 22 offense, 91 defense, 7-6, 10 offense, 69 defense, 8-4. I mean, that's not bad, but yeah. And then then we get the Neil Brown, who he's kind of back to the Bill Stewart ways, where his offense is awful. Year one, 116th offense, 74 defense, 5-7. But then look at 83 and 22, and that was in 2020. That was the COVID year, so only 10 games, 6-4. 88 offense, 45 defense in 2021, 6-7. These defense. Look at this one. 2022, 116th ranked defense. Guess what? We won 5 games that year. As last year, 110th ranked defense. That was when we went 6-7. So that is my key to success, and that is why I'm so hyped about this year. I love that we've got Zach Alley back. I love that we've got, I think Jeff Castillo is some kind of a defensive assistant or something. He's not like technically a coach, but I love that we're putting together this great defense. I hope the defense does what it did under his first stint, and I hope that we're this balanced again, where we have a good offense and a good defense, not just one or the other. It's like those games where, they say like, oh, this team, won so many games last year, but, X amount of them were 1-score games. And that's just unsustainable because, you're never going to get that many 50-50s year after year. That's the way I felt like with Holgerson. Those huge games, those 50 to 40 something games, it's unsustainable. It's like, yeah, it's awesome to see you scoring 50 something points a game, but it was because you had to, because you were giving up 40 something points a game. So hopefully we get back to this style of play that Rodriguez had in its first stint here. Also, before I did this research, I didn't realize how long Holgerson was here. He was here longer than Rich Rod. And I actually liked Holgerson. I don't know why everybody hated on him so much, but I thought his offenses were at least fun to watch. I mean, we went from really fun to watch to really boring to watch to really fun to watch to really boring to watch. Hopefully we're getting back to really fun to watch. But anyway, that's just what I wanted to get into. That was something I'd been kind of, thinking about and, wanted to look into a little bit further after they, were showing some of our defensive stats in these I watched this Sugar Bowl, and then I watched the Fiesta Bowl, and then I did watch the Orange Bowl again. Especially in the Sugar Bowl and the Fiesta Bowl, they kept talking about how good our defenses were. And I was like, really? I did not remember Rodriguez being this, having these crazy good defenses. But then I went back and started looking. I'm like, yeah, we really did. We had great defenses those years. And that's what I think we need to get back to if we want to have any chance of winning again. So that's what I have to say. We're like 4 days now from the game, so let's go Mountaineers. I'm probably going to miss a lot of it because I'm traveling back home for Labor Day, but I'm probably going to be spending a lot of the time with family. I mean, I'll probably DVR the game and watch it when I come back. I don't have any, doubt that we're going to, not beat Robert Morris, so not that invested into the game necessarily, but I'll probably still just watch it just to see what we look like, see what the offense looks like, see what we're doing. But yeah, anyway, I will probably not be able to make a video this weekend, like I said, because I will be traveling. So the next video I make will probably be a week from tonight. So until then, have a great rest of your weekend. Let's go Mountaineers. Let's beat Robert Morris, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.